Hi guys, this is Jess here, and so excited to have another colleague with me today and going to share a little bit about her journey and have some questions for her about study abroad. And today I had her bring her sketchbook, so she's going to share some peeks with us. So let's get started. So if you can tell us your name, age, and what your major is.
My name is Nina. I'm 24 years old. I am going for a BFA in illustration.
Very cool. Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from California. I'm from the Bay Area. That's where I grew up.
Okay,
hmm
great. Well, I'm sure you're excited to see her sketchbook. Would you mind, Nina, sharing your amazing sketches with you that you've done so far here at Study Abroad?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay.
So, a couple of the stuff that we've been working on so far is just these life sketches. I don't know if it's even visible. So these are a couple of, or this is one statue here at the Uffizi Gallery.
That was cool.
There was another one right next to it.
Mm,
And then
love that.
I also have, this is an in progress sketch I have for one of the illustrations we're doing here.
Oh my gosh.
So we have to do a series of 3. Let me see if I even, here's the first of the series that I'm putting to the side to work on later because this one's going to be a little more difficult.
But, definitely.
And then, so from this, I've blown it up. And I don't even know if you can really see it, but
here, I'll get closer to you. Look, you guys,
so
the pigeon.
I'm building it up, making it bigger, refining the composition.
Sure.
And I'm kind of dancing around starting on the watercolors, so I'm going to do a ton of color roughs before I feel confident moving forward.
Yes, I'm doing color theory right now and just doing those matching. It's like, oh, it's so boring to me, but it's essential, right?
It's essential. I'm trying not to overthink it, so just choosing a background color and then layering on top of that. That's kind of the point of watercolors. Light to dark.
Exactly. Well, one of my colleagues had suggested that why not have the artist sketch and draw versus just sitting here and looking at each other. So I invited her to bring it, and she's going to sketch along while I ask her some questions. So sound good?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So can you share any challenges or obstacles that you faced in your artistic journey, and how did you overcome them?
So one of the biggest issues I was having while I was learning how to draw was finding my own voice and style. And I think that's something that a lot of artists go through. I think there's a lot of expectation to really be serious, especially when you're going to art school. And I don't mean like you shouldn't take it seriously, but you do anatomy and you do the fundamental work, and it can get really rigid.
Yes.
So I'm trying to still focus on my fundamentals, but I'm a goober, and I'm okay with that. And I'm letting that come through with my work. I mean, even in my pieces, it's
right.
I'm okay with being a goober in the presence of really great artwork.
Absolutely.
That's just who I am.
Love that.
So yeah, a lot of it has just been being okay with being a dork.
Hey, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Be original. So how does your personal background or identity influence your artistic practice?
So because I'm from the Bay Area, there's a lot of great artists, a lot of competition. And you're constantly comparing yourself to those artists because you're constantly surrounded by it.
Sure.
So I think for me, the way that I grew up, I had to learn pretty quickly to stop comparing myself to other artists, and I still do it. I mean, I think pretty much everyone does.
Yeah.
But realizing that art is a collaborative thing, and that's very present in the Bay Area. Almost like all of the major art projects you're going to see nowadays are collaborative work.
Come on.
So I'm more okay with working in a team and working with other people and getting feedback, giving feedback than I think a lot of other artists are. I personally think feedback and critique are super important. And yeah, being being in a metropolitan art focused place has definitely really introduced me to that early on.
Wow. Wow, that's very helpful.
But yeah, definitely.
So, are there any artists or artistic movements that have had a significant influence on your work?
I think there's so many. I mean, I think like most people that are my age, um, we grew up watching cartoons and the internet. Um, a lot of that probably shines through with my sense of humor being as broken as it is, with short attention span, things that confuse you. Um, I'm really into things that are surreal and abstract and not being afraid of what they are. So I was just talking to another student that I really like David Lynch stuff. Not, I mean, he is very artistically profound in some senses, but also because he's really not scared of just doing something stupid. I mean, he made a whole like 15-30 minute short on Netflix about a monkey solving a murder, and it's like, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, approaching something so absurd with the same like delicacy and complexity of an artist.
I love that.
Yeah.
What a cool perspective. Thank you. So, how do you think talking about study abroad will contribute to your artistic growth and future career as an artist?
One thing, the portfolio, I mean, that's going to look great. I think tons of people are going to be like, you went and studied in Italy?
Yes.
That obviously makes you perfect for what we're doing. But I also think just making connections, making friends, I think, especially in the illustration department, I've noticed so far is that tons of people are very introverted. I know that. I'm very introverted. And this is like, I am now kind of forced to be interacting with people, to be making friends, to just making those connections. And I think that's probably one of the most beneficial things I've been gaining from this is these professional and friendship connections I've been making that hopefully can carry me through my professional career. But yeah, definitely I went to Italy. You should hire me, you know.
So true. So, what have you learned about yourself as an artist through this study abroad experience, and has it helped you discover new interests or strengths in your practice?
I think what I've learned is, I think every time I learn something new, it's that I don't know as much as I think I know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Well, yeah, and then you get surrounded by other people who are also really great artists. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, I try not to compare myself to other people, but I still do it. But I also think I've learned that I've matured a lot as an artist too. When I started going to art school, I could take critique, but I was still a little like, you know, I put all this work into it, blah blah blah. I know right, but just getting critique from the teacher now, I see it more as like a professional engagement. They actually want you to get better, and they know you can do better, so they're going to tell you how to get better. And I really appreciate that, and I'm happy that I can take it and I can ask for it and I can use it in my work.
I can tell you're going to grow so much. Like even this morning, you were asking the professor, like she was like critiquing your was it your study or your project?
It's this one, yeah.
And I love how like she gave a suggestion, and I think that is very mature of you to take it and then know to grow on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think like I said, that's why it's drawn in pencil and not pen. I mean,
the tip.
you make the mistake, you can go back and fix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thinking about the broader aspect of art, how do you think art plays in society?
It's difficult to even begin. It's expression, and for a lot of people, it's the only way they can express themselves.
Yeah.
I had a hard time communicating my emotions for a long time, and this is how I did it. Or just something so basic as design, architecture. But I also think artistically driven societies tend to be happier ones because we create spaces with people in mind,
Hmm.
creating comfort and
Hmm.
utility in mind. And I don't think you get those things if you're not applying art to those things.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I think this sums it all up. Do you have any last thoughts? Anything you want to say to inspiring artists, aspiring artists out there that maybe hasn't created?
Um, I have two big tips for
Okay.
aspiring artists, and that's always keep your sketchbooks, even if you're embarrassed about what's in them, even if it's like the goofy anime stuff that you drew when you were a middle schooler. Keep them. They're really important, not only in your artistic journey, but if you ever feel bad about yourself now, you just go back and make fun of the teenage you.
Oh, I
Because
love that.
but it's also it's like nostalgic. It's
Yes.
important to keep. Um, and then the second thing is, you can start a piece of art, but it's kind of like it's a sculpture. The end product is not going to be where you start. So if you're not happy with something and where it's going halfway through the project, just finish it. Just finish it. It doesn't have to. Not everything you make has to be another masterpiece. It can just be something that you're learning.
That's so true.
And I think that's just as important. So yeah, don't get discouraged.
Aww.
Just keep working at it. You'll get there, and you'll be happy that you did it. Trust me.
That's so good. Thank you, Nina, for sharing your amazing wisdom and your amazing sketchbook. Can't wait to see. And then we'll have you back on at the end of the summer to maybe show your project, or any other tips that you learned through the Study Abroad program.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, guys. Bye.